Well, here's a little update on the air compressor here. Eventually I'm going to get a new cap and plug wires. Right now I got them taped up and everything. I put a volt gauge here. This is where the hour meter used to be. Put a volt gauge there. Put a new water temp gauge. And hooked it up to here. You can see that little shiny brass piece. I put a new alternator on it. New water pump alternator belt. And I put a new voltage regulator right there where my finger's at, right there. And a new starter solenoid right there. And I just put a new radiator cap. That's a thermal cap, and here's what was on it. So I'll put that on there so I can tell the temperature of the antifreeze. See? It's like I'm a little low, but man, it's still good actually. But that's what that is. It's a temperature probe. See? It's a temperature probe. But anyway, this was on there. It's just a regular old cap. I put that on there, and now I can actually see what the temperature is of the radiator. Everything on stock still. So I got a new water pump for it. No, not water pump, fuel pump. Excuse me. I got a new fuel pump for it. Got one of those and a bunch of fuel filters, because this one is about halfway plugged up with rust in it. It's got maybe 30% rust in there. From then on, it's just fuel and filter. There's a bunch of rust on the bottom, about that much in that filter. So, and I put that on to help slow down the arcing from the coil to the hot side of the, or the positive side of the plug on the coil. I had to put a piece of plastic over it to keep it from arcing. It helps, but still does it. And I'm just borrowing this hose for when I'm running power tools and stuff and air tires up. This right here, I think this is for this bell housing. Yeah, this bell housing is for a standard 302. Well, this is a 302, but this is a standard manual bell housing on here. I thought about taking a torch and cutting this right here, like this, or cut a circle in it. And now I'll mount a tractor generator on this, or off the crank. Tractor generator, have it come out to here, where you can run. Put this down real quick. Where you can run grinder, lights, smaller air compressor, or or phone charger or whatever, or power a house with it, with this air compressor and generator. If it had a generator on it, then you can power a mobile home with it, something like that along them lines. But anyway, I thought about doing that for this, putting a tractor generator on here that runs off of a tractor with a 540 PTO. Well, I thought about putting it directly to the engine here, where it'll run constantly all the time. While you're using air compressor to blow stuff with or whatever, you can plug that into, you can plug a grinder into it and use the grinder to sharpen blades with, or or whatever. Welder, you can use a welder on it or something. Something like that. Big enough to power a welder and stuff. But I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't know. I'll have to talk talk to it over with my dad about that. So that's an idea, though. I don't have the money to get one, otherwise I would. But like I said, it's not an idea. So I come up with, see if that would, be pretty neat or not. But anyway, I put a small Honda battery on it, and it's doing the job of starting it. Here, I'll show you. It turns over pretty easy too, pretty quick. Perfect. And I dropped my keys. Yeah, I didn't remember very long, so. But yeah, that little Honda battery sure fires that thing up like with ease. And here's the cranking amps on that battery too, if you're all curious about it. It's for 450 cranking amps, like cold cranking amps. And this is the name of it. So that's the battery that's on it. But yeah, it fires right up with that battery and everything. And I put this copper tube here. From here, I know I already did a video on it, but I'm just throwing this in here with it. But anyway, I put a copper tube from this air tank to here. It goes to this guy here. I will be swapping this out with another plastic tubing or copper tubing here with this. But right here, I got a copper tube here going under, up, and going right there where my finger's at. Right there where I'm pointing at. It goes to there. I might be putting a copper tube here. I don't know yet. I might switch these out for copper tubing. All these here. That goes from the air gauge to these right here. That goes to this thing right here. I might be switching those out to copper tubing. I think all that's in there is copper tubing, or not copper tubing, plastic tubing. But I'm gonna put copper tubing in there. Yeah, there's a T right. Yeah, that hose goes from here to here, and all of that, into the gauge and stuff. So I might be changing all that to copper tubing. But these right here, that come out of the intake here, or this side here, on the air compressor side, I'm leaving these like they are because it goes into the manifold and the inside of the air compressor part. I'm gonna leave these tubes here, leave them alone. That goes up to goes from here to here. I'm leaving these tubes alone. But the other ones are gonna be copper. I'm gonna put the copper in them on the other ones. So, but anyway, hope you all enjoyed the video, and have a nice one.